Welcome to my Introduction to Networking course, typically abbreviated ITN. This will be for the CCNA version 7 curriculum. Module 6, Data Link Layer. In this video, we're talking all about Layer 2. We're going to be talking about the purpose, the topology, and we're going to end with a data frame and kind of how they function. All right, let's go ahead and jump right in. So let's talk about the purpose. The data link layer is actually responsible for communication between end devices and NIC cards. Essentially what it does is it takes the wire, the media, and it allows communication with upper layers. Layer 2 typically deals with frames. And those frames allow for media access control as well as the mechanisms used for accessing those medias. You'll notice here in this slide, we're talking destination and source NIC addresses. Realistically, we're dealing with physical addresses at this layer. Now, keep in mind that depending on the layer 2 function, that NIC might be replaced with some other form of physical address. For example, MAC address, media access, source and destination, is typically referred here. But MAC addresses can be different types depending on the media. One of the next things it does is it performs some form of error detection to figure out if a frame is legitimate or if it has errors and thus reject those frames. So here we have data link layer, and you're going to notice the MAC address sublayer. Again, that MAC address sublayer is what allows access to the physical media. There's also an LLC sublayer. The LLC sublayer is what allows for communication with upper layer content. And you'll notice LLC sublayer is the IEEE 802.2 versus the MAC sublayer, which is going to be 802.3. That's traditional Ethernet, that's wired. Or it could also be IEEE 802.11, that's wireless. Or we could be talking some form of personal network like Bluetooth, so that'd be 802.15. So the MAC sublayer is actually about the different mediums, not just wireless or wired connections, and how they interact with the overall communication platform. An important thing to note about the MAC sublayer is it's the portion that's going to do data encapsulation as well as media access control. MAC stands for Media Access Control. So, packet exchanges between any node may experience numerous data link layers and transmissions. Meaning, as we flow through a network, the different link layer communication standards may be different. It may not always be Ethernet. It may be HEM or frame relay or MPLS, or pick another layer 2 technology. So we had to have a way to control access from the higher layers to the media, and that is what the MAC sublayer function does. At each hop along a path, a hop being a connection between two layer 3 devices, a layer 3 device will perform 4 basic functions. It will accept a data frame from the network medium. It will decapsulate the frame to expose the packets, the layer 3 packets. It will review both the layer 2 frame and the layer 3 packet. It will re-encapsulate the packet into a new data frame. It will perform a new data frame header. It will then forward the new frame on the medium to the appropriate network segment. At each layer 3 hop, all frames are stripped away after being reviewed, and we'll be looking at layer 3 packet headers. Again, layer 2 is more between nodes on LAN, and layer 3 is more one node leaving one network and going to another network. Some of the data link standard organizations are things like IEEE, IANA, the International Organization for Standards, ISO, the International Telecommunication Union, IATIA, and so forth. So now let's talk topologies. Topologies come in two flavors, physical or logical. The physical will show all of the connections, the interconnections, things of that nature. Logical is going to identify things like the virtual connections, VLANs, IP addresses, the addressing schemes, things of that nature. So that talks about how the wires and the functions are laid out. Typically, we will be looking at a physical topology in terms of how the mediums are connected. And the mediums are connected in a few different ways. If we're talking a WAN, one network and another network connection, we are talking one of three typically, some type of point-to-point, hub and spoke, or mesh. These are the three common WAN topologies. This is not all of them. This is just the common ones. A point-to-point being literally one node through one network to another node. A hub and spoke being you have several nodes connected to a central node, and a mesh being everything connected to everyone else. If we are talking local communication, local traffic, we have three common topologies. That will be star topology, bus topology, a ring topology, and some form of mesh. Yes, we could have hybrids of these, but those are the common ones. A bus being a straight line, and each device takes its turn. A ring being a giant circle, and again, each device taking its own turn. A star is one of the unique ones where everything is connected to a centralized device, like a switch. Stars are going to be the most common, or star variation is going to be the most common. So now that we understand the topology, we can start looking at the communication flow on a medium. Communication flows one of two ways, half duplex or full duplex. Half duplex basically is one device can communicate at a time. Full duplex is you can both send and receive simultaneously. This is often called a shared medium. Ethernet switches are full duplex. Rings and buses are typically going to be half duplex. Wireless networks are typically also half duplex. So now that we talked about physical topologies, we talked about how things communicate, what happens when we want to send messages at the same time? What controls that? Those are called access control methods, and that is one of two ways. If we're talking contention-based access, that means it's going to be either half duplex or full duplex communication. We have two different systems for communication. Carrier sensing multiple access with collision detection, CCNA/CD. This is typically used in legacy, older switches, hubs, and alike. If we're talking wireless, carrier sense multiple access with collision avoidance, CCNA/CA, and that's used on wireless networks. If we are talking older technology, we have what's called a controller access, and essentially it's a talking stick or a talking token, and as it goes through like a ring or a bus, you can only communicate if you have the talking token. No talking token, no communication. So what is this in practice? Like, so what with CCNA, CD, like what is that in functionality? Essentially, what this does is it lays the groundwork for communication on a shared connection, like a star. If things are communicating and it detects another signal communicating, both devices will stop sending data. They will wait X amount of time and then retry to transmit data. CCNA-CD, while it is legacy, it basically allows us to send and receive data, and if it detects something, it's the rules on what to do. If two devices are communicating at the same time, that's called a collision. So that collision detection is when it sees two things communicating at the same time, it will wait and retry again. If it tries retrying again and it also detects someone on the wire, it will wait again. And it will do this as long as necessary until it can retransmit the data. That is CCNA-CD. If we are talking wireless, it will be CCNA-CA, collision avoidance. Basically half duplex as much as it can, and it will use a collision avoidance process to govern when the device can transmit. If it detects multiple devices, it will send it when an appropriate time is presented. And that's really subjective because wireless is always going to be receiving interference, so that is why I say when appropriate. Moving on is our data link frame. Again, the unit at the data link layer is called a frame. Frames are generally made up of three areas: the header, the data, and the trailer. The data is actually the layer 3 packet. But all frames have these three main areas. And each specific layer 2 technology will have a frame for their technology. In general, frames will have things like this: a header being a start portion, an addressing portion, a type, and a control portion. The type will identify the layer 3 protocol. So typically it will be an IP packet. Doesn't have to be, but that's one of the most common. The control will be the overall flow control. The data being, again, the packet. And the trailer will consist of the error detection portion and a frame stop. Here is an example of a 2-hop network and how the layer 2 addressing works. This is actually one of the most important slides on data links, because what it does is I want you guys to notice that it's color-coded. As we are sending data between our device and a web server, notice the NIC. The NIC is colored purple. That means our frame is going to use the NIC MAC address from this being the source, this being the destination. The router will take it, will strip off the frame, the layer 2 information, will review the layer 3 information, and then replace it with this source MAC address and this destination MAC address. Notice this being a aqua. Down here, you'll notice that the layer 2 frame is now an aqua. The layer 3 packet header stays the same. Router 2 will receive the data frame. It will strip off the aqua layer 2 frame, review the layer 3 packet information, and then it will replace it with the blue frame. This being the source, this being the destination. each hop will remove the layer 2 frame. Each hop will replace it with its own data frame. That's important to point out. Okay, so now that we're talking different types of frames, Ethernet being the most common, what are some others? Wireless, 802.11, that uses its own wireless data frame. Point-to-point protocol, high-level data link control, or HDLC, and frame relay. These are just some of the common ones, but realistically, Ethernet and wireless being the most common. And that is it for our data frames. So in this lesson, we talked about the purpose of the data link layer, the two sublayers, the LLC and the MAC sublayer. We talked about how the MAC sublayer controls access to the media. We talked about collision detection and collision avoidance. We talked about addressing being known as the physical address. That's all for this lecture. If you have any questions or concerns, please reach out. Thank you.